What's up, guys? I'm with Cameron and Lee here from the Xbox Advanced Technology Group. They're going to give you some tips on the Xbox controls because I know some people have been having a little bit of trouble, but have no fear. These guys are here to help. And you guys actually got to go out to South Korea to work on the controls. Is that correct?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we originally got engaged with them to redo the controls for Gamescom.
Okay.
Because their controller config wasn't optimal, just even for the PC version. And then from there, the work that we had done, they were so happy and impressed with the work that we had done, they flew me out there to actually work with the UX team and go over the controller schemes, which Cameron and we worked on here locally and then brought that recommendation to them.
That's awesome. And they had never worked on a console game, right? So it was kind of
they were strictly PC. So this console understanding and trying to figure out how to actually map all of those controls on the PC to a controller was quite a challenge. Yeah. But that was one of the things that we held dear to us is not to try to dumb down the game and try to keep all of the main features of the PC on the controller. Yeah. So it was a challenge.
Of course, there's a lot of controls.
There was, but we figure we worked through it, and we worked through it with the team, and they had a little bit of recommendations back and forth. But basically, the controller setup that you see on the Xbox now is what we came up in Korea.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. As a beginner, it can be a little overwhelming. We mentioned a little bit before that there are a ton of controls, and they can be overwhelming for someone who's new to it. But after a few hours, you can really get the hang of it. But Cameron, I'm excited. I know you wrote down some tips for us.
Yes.
Because you're the master. I mean, you work at the controls. So I'm really excited to hear what you have to say about it and what kind of help you can offer our
viewers.
Great.
I'm always trying to improve my game as well. But as I was going through and playing with some of my friends, I realized that we built a lot of really cool shortcuts and things in the controller, especially for the UI and looting for the Xbox, because we wanted to make it fun, fast, and familiar. We didn't want to, as Lee said, dumb it down at all.
Sure.
But there are some really good tips on what you can use on Xbox to make your looting and grabbing and management of your inventory a lot faster.
Ooh, yes.
So first off, we want to specifically say that when we did this, the control scheme for the inventory was one of the toughest challenges we had. So we wanted to make sure that the game was familiar, but also the same button presses from different menus and things like that also stayed the same. So you should know that whenever you press X to interact with an item, it'll always go to your inventory.
Okay.
Whether you're out in the world, you highlight something and it gives you the item to pick it up, that'll go into your inventory. Whether it's an attachment, if it's a weapon, it will automatically swap or go in.
Got it. So X inventory.
Yes, exactly. Now, when you open the inventory menu to pick stuff up like ammo, it's still X. We didn't want to change the context of that. But when you use the A button is to use or swap immediately. So if you see an attachment on the ground, you can open up your inventory menu, or if it's in your inventory already, and you press A, it'll highlight which fields it can go into on whichever weapons. Maybe it can fit on all of them.
Yeah.
And then pressing A again confirms once you've selected the slot. But the tip is you can always just double tap quick A, and it will automatically go to the first weapon it can fit on with the default focus on whichever weapon you're actually holding.
Got it.
So if you are switching from a red dot and you need a scope right away, go ahead and select that scope in your inventory and just double tap A. It should go to the weapon that you already have if that 8X can already go on that weapon.
Nice.
So just really quick learning that muscle memory.
Right.
But some other good tips that we have is when you are interacting with the world, you want to know when is it appropriate to loot from the world, just highlighting something and pressing X, versus opening the inventory menu and going from there. Now, the fastest way to loot something is always with pressing X. If you walk up to it and you're able to highlight it, you just press X and grab it. If it's a weapon, it will go into your inventory if you have an open slot, or you can quick switch a weapon because it will always swap with whatever weapon you are currently holding.
Okay, so that double-barreled shotgun, hold on to that to pick up the sniper rifle, drop the shotgun.
Exactly. I've got a video of that, so if we can go to that right here.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so here I am in a game where I actually was playing, and I have a shotgun, but I see the sniper rifle. So I quickly just swap to my shotgun, tap X to pick up the sniper rifle, pick up the ammo, reloaded, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
I didn't have to open the inventory, didn't have to scroll between menus at all. I just knew I don't care about what's on the shotgun and the attachments. I'm just going to get rid of this and just quick swapped it out.
It's a perfect beginner tip because I see a lot of the bunnies out there just standing over a gun for like 5 minutes. It's just easy headshot, baby. You know what I mean? So the faster you can do this, the better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's another great tip, though, that I'll throw in here is we also made sure that you can always move with the left thumbstick. So if you're in managing the inventory or you're looting someone, you can still kind of circle around a little bit and at least move. Make it a little bit harder if somebody's beating in.
Exactly, because you're gonna. Odds are they'll hit you in the body instead of the head at least, or something. You know.
And that goes back to like one of the things that we were saying is we wanted to keep all of the core features what made PUBG so successful in the PC on the console. So when we were designing the inventory system, that was the biggest kind of
struggle, maybe? It was
it was just like kind of, I'm trying to think of the word.
Challenge, hurdle?
All of those make sense.
But anyways, it was a curveball, that's it.
Yeah.
So it was one of those curveballs because everybody, the natural design for controllers is using your left stick to navigate or your D-pad.
Right.
And that was one of the things that we had to reserve because you're moving around in the world,
right?
And we don't want to suddenly swap that to something else,
right? Exactly.
So that's why the inventory might feel a little bit clunky at first, or a little bit challenging because your natural reflexes are to use the left stick to navigate. So it's usually people use the D-pad or the right stick.
But at the end of the day, it does make sense in line with the game, and it's like one of those little things that I think people will overcome as they play, right? Yeah,
exactly.
That's a good example. But you guys have more tips, right?
Yes, that actually leads into the next tips we want to talk about, because one of the things that people want to do is they're always looking to upgrade their weapons. You might have, the SCAR, but you really like the M4. Okay, or you're going from the AK to something else. So what you want to do is you want to keep all your attachments usually, because most of them swap between them.
Right.
So that can be a difficult task of going over, doing, unloading everything, swapping. So here's a few tips on how to make that a lot faster. One of the shortcuts that we built in for the Xbox version that's not in the PC version is you can hold X or hold Y to completely strip a weapon. And depending on which button you use, it will either go to your bag. Again, X always goes into the bag.
X always the inventory.
Yes. And Y will always drop. So hold Y will strip a weapon and drop everything to the ground. So in this example, in this video, I'm going to show you how I swap over from an AKM that I have, but I find an M4 and I really want that.
All right, let's take a look.
So as I go in here, I see the M4, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up, tab over to my AK, and I'm going to hold X. Now, all of those attachments now go into my inventory. I didn't lose them.
Yeah.
Now I can go over, quickly tap the M4, grab all the ammo, and then I'm just going down and double tapping A because that's the weapon I'm holding, and that's the default one, so all those attachments go right to it.
It's quick looting.
Exactly.
Especially for the Xbox. That's
so
great.
I'm in and out. Exactly. Now, there's another example of another video where maybe you don't have enough room in your bag for all those attachments to fit, okay? You could be overloaded with meds or ammo or whatever, however your play style is. So you might have to strip to the ground, which is always available because you can always drop stuff.
Yep.
So here's that same scenario, but using the strip to ground holding the Y button. So here's my M4. I quickly tab over to my AK, hold Y. Now all of the attachments are in the vicinity. So I'm going to stand there, I'm going to swap to the M4, and then just double tap down the list to grab all those attachments, and then I'm out of there.
Perfect.
Took about the same amount of time.
Yeah.
But there is advantages to using the hold X to strip to your bag over hold Y. One is if you're looting on the run, or you're not in safe cover, you just took out somebody and you want their stuff, but they're out in the middle of a field. You want to get in there and out as fast as possible. And stripping to the ground and then having to go through your inventory and do all that is going to take a lot longer.
Those seconds matter.
Exactly. So here's my final example of swapping a weapon and some quick tips about that. Is I'm going to go in, and this time I've made sure that I have enough room in my bag. So I first off, put all the attachments into my bag, grab the M4, and then I'm not going to attach them right now. I'm going to start moving. Maybe the circle's coming, or I've got enemies on my tail.
Right.
Now that I'm running forward, because again, we can use the left thumbstick to always move, now I'm navigating the inventory menu with the right thumbstick. We purposefully put that in there. So if you're driving or running, you can go up and down, and then I'm just quick tapping A through that list, getting all my attachments on.
While you're on the move towards the circle.
Exactly.
Perfect, yeah.
And you can even go faster than what I did in this video, because you can start a reload to your weapon, and while your weapon is reloading, you can throw on attachments in the inventory. So there's another, just even save a few more seconds.
So just to reiterate, X always to inventory, Y always to ground, and you can, the right stick when you're moving can navigate your inventory.
Exactly, can help you with that. So
perfect.
You know, if you're driving in a buggy or something.
And A to use and attach.
Right, A to use and attach. That's perfect. So and double tap to the weapon that you have in your hands, correct? Or the first thing that it can attach to.
Yes.
Right. Perfect.
Now let's see this in a really good one. I think you're going to lead into this.
I'm excited, but yeah, great. You can do this.
So this video right here is, I was actually playing, so this is real. This is not set up. But I was running, and I noticed a crate drop from a distance, but it was kind of remote, so I didn't think anyone was there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a plan. I know it's probably an upgrade versus something I already have. So I actually stripped both my weapons, because I know I'm going to get rid of one.
But you don't know what's in there.
Exactly. So I find out it's the M249. I quickly swap my M16 for it. Now as I'm running to cover, I'm attaching all my attachments back to my weapons. And as I do so, I notice that over here to the left comes a buggy. Now, if I had been just delayed any few seconds there at the crate, he would have seen me, maybe ran me over.
Right.
But instead, he completely missed me. Now I have an opportunity to pull out my sniper rifle, and I actually get a few shots on him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I missed the headshot
Hey, man, you can't win them all.
But, you know, he does run off. But see, even though I stripped all my weapons, when I got to the crate, from the time that I was at the crate to the time I left, less than 4 seconds.
Unbelievable.
So that's another benefit to stripping your weapon or all the attachments into your bag and making sure that there's room. You can even go faster. If you know there's a weapon that you don't want, maybe you don't want a shotgun, you would prefer a sniper or anything that comes in the crate, just go ahead and tap Y, just drop that weapon completely. There's an open slot. You run up to the crate and just tap X, and it'll pull everything in.
Perfect.
And there you go.
There you go.
Super quick.
Yeah, these were great tips to help shave seconds off everyone's time, and hopefully you guys learned a little bit from that. Cameron, Lee, thank you guys so much. This has been amazing. Awesome. Really appreciate having you guys on, and honestly, you've done a great job with the amount of things you have to do in PUBG. I think it's great, and once you get past that learning curve, it is smooth as butter.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thanks.
We have to really give the credit to the PUBG team. We love working with them. They're very hardworking, as we've seen with the updates and addressing even the controller feedback from the community.
Yeah.
And they're awesome. We love working with them, and we love playing PUBG and seeing everyone else enjoy it too.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks again, guys, and let's head back to the live show.